Okay, chapter 12. We get advice from a poodle. We were pretty miserable that night. We camped out in the woods 100 yards from the main road in a marshy clearing that the local kids had obviously been using for parties. The ground was littered with flattened soda cans and fast food wrappers. We had taken some food and blankets from Auntie M's, but we didn't dare try and light a fire for our damp clothes. The Furies and Medusa had provided enough excitement for one day. We didn't want to attract anything else. We decided to sleep in shifts. I volunteered to take first watch. Annabeth curled up on the blankets and was snoring as soon as her head hit the ground. Grover fluttered with his flying shoes to the lowest bough of a tree, put his back to the trunk, and stared up at the night sky. "Go ahead and sleep," I told him. "I'll wake you if there's trouble." He nodded, but he still didn't close his eyes. "It makes me sad, Percy." "What does? The fact that you signed up for this stupid quest with me?" "No, this makes me sad." And he pointed out to all the garbage on the ground. "And the sky. You can't even see the stars. They've polluted the sky. It's a terrible time to be a satyr." "Oh yeah, I guess you'd be an environmentalist." He glared at me. "Only a human wouldn't be. Your species is clogging up the world so fast. Never mind. It's useless to lecture a human. At the rate things are going, I'll never find Pan." "Pan? Like the cooking spray?" "Pan!" he cried indignantly. P-A-N! The great god, Pan! What do you think I want a searcher's license for? A strange breeze rustled through the clearing, temporarily overpowering the stink of the trash and muck. It brought the smell of berries and wildflowers and clean rainwater, things that might once have been in these woods. Suddenly, I was nostalgic for something that I'd never even known. "Tell me about the search," I said. Grover looked at me cautiously, as if he were afraid I was just making fun of him. "The god of wild places disappeared 2,000 years ago," he told me. "A sailor off the coast of Ephesus heard a mysterious voice crying out from the shore. 'Tell them that the great god Pan has died!' When humans heard the news, they believed it. They've been pillaging Pan's kingdom ever since. But for the satyrs, Pan was our lord and master. He protected us and the wild places of the earth. We refused to believe that he died. In every generation, the bravest satyrs pledged their lives to finding Pan. They searched the earth, exploring all the wildest places, hoping to find where he is hidden and to wake him from his sleep." "And you want to be a searcher?" "It's my life's dream," he said. "My father was a searcher, and my Uncle Ferdinand, the statue you saw back there." "Oh, right. I'm sorry." Grover shook his head. "Uncle Ferdinand knew the risks. So did my dad. But I'll succeed. I'll be the first searcher to return alive." "Hang on. The first?" Grover took his red reed pipes out of his pocket. "No searcher has ever come back. Once they set out, they disappear. They're never seen alive again." "Not once in 2,000 years?" "No." "And your dad? You have no idea what happened to him?" "None." "But you still want to go?" I said, amazed. "I mean, you really think that you'll be the one to find Pan?" "I have to believe that, Percy. Every searcher does. It's the only thing that keeps us from despair when we look at humans and all that they have done to the world. I have to believe Pan can still be awakened." I stared at the orange haze of the sky, and I tried to understand how Grover could pursue a dream that seemed so hopeless. Then again, was I any better? "How are we going to get into the underworld?" I asked him. "I mean, what chance do we have against a god?" "I don't know," he admitted. "But back at Medusa's, when you were searching her office, Annabeth was telling me—" "Oh, I forgot. Annabeth will have a plan all figured out." "Don't be so hard on her, Percy. She's had a really tough life, but she's a really good person. After all, she forgave me." His voice faltered. "What do you mean? Forgave you for what?" Suddenly, Grover seemed very interested in playing notes on his pipes. "Wait a minute," I said. "Your first keeper job was 5 years ago. Annabeth has been at camp 5 years. She wasn't... I mean, your first assignment, that went wrong?" "I can't talk about it," Grover said. His quivering lower lip suggested that he might start crying if I pressed him. "But as I was saying back at Medusa's, Annabeth and I agreed that there's something strange going on with this quest. Something that isn't what it seems." "Well, duh. I'm getting blamed for stealing a thunderbolt that Hades took." "No, that's not what I mean," Grover said. The kindly ones were sort of holding back, like Mrs. Dodds at Yancey Academy. Why did she wait so long to try and kill you? Then on the bus, they just weren't as aggressive as they could have been." They seem pretty aggressive to me. Grover shook his head. They were screeching at us. Where is it? Where? Asking about me, I said. Maybe, but Annabeth and I, we both got the feeling they weren't asking about a person. They said, where is it? They seemed to be asking about an object. I know. That doesn't make any sense, though. I know. But if we've misunderstood something about this quest, we only have 9 days to find the Master Bolt. He looked at me like he was hoping for answers, but I didn't have any. I thought about what Medusa had said. I was being used by the gods. What lay ahead of me was worse than petrification. I haven't been straight with you, I told Grover. I don't care about this Master Bolt. I agreed to go to the underworld so I could bring back my mother. Grover blew a soft note on his pipes. I know that, Percy, but you're sure that's the only reason? I'm not doing it to help my father. He doesn't care about me, and I don't care about him. Grover gazed down from his tree branch. Look, Percy, I'm not as smart as Annabeth. I'm not as brave as you, but I'm pretty good at reading emotions. You're glad your dad is alive. You feel good that he's claimed you, and part of you does want to make him proud. That's why you mailed Medusa's head to Olympus. You wanted him to notice what you've done. Yeah? Well, maybe satyr emotions work differently than human emotions, because you're wrong. I don't even care what he thinks. Grover pulled his feet up to the branch. All right, Percy, whatever. Besides, I haven't done anything worth bragging about. We barely got out of New York, and we're stuck here with no money and no way west. Grover looked at the night sky like he was thinking about the problem. How about I take first watch, huh? You go get some sleep. I wanted to protest, but he started to play Mozart, soft and sweet, and I turned away, my eyes stinging. After a few bars of Piano Concerto No. 12, I was fast asleep. In my dreams, I stood in a dark cavern before a gaping pit. Gray mist creatures churned all around me, whispering rags of smoke that I somehow knew were the spirits of the dead. They tugged at my clothes, trying to pull me back, but I felt compelled to walk forward to the very edge of the chasm. Looking down made me feel dizzy. The pit yawned so wide and was so completely black, I knew that it had to be bottomless. Yet I had a feeling that something was trying to rise from the abyss, something huge and evil. The little hero, an amused voice echoed from down in the darkness. Too weak, too young, but perhaps you'll do. The voice felt ancient, cold and heavy, and it wrapped around me like sheets of lead. They have misled you, boy, it said. Barter with me. I'll give you what you want. A shimmering image hovered over the void. My mother, frozen at the moment she had dissolved into a shower of gold. Her face was distorted with pain, as if the Minotaur were still squeezing around her neck. Her eyes looked directly at me, pleading, Go! That's a good stopping point for today.